logic and cheese.
Mr. Sensible is proud that MAGE, the mission above globe Earth, has been sponsored by Bob the Science Guy and his channel, Common Sense Science. I'm also proud that MAGE is sponsored by Arctic Haze and his Climate Anomaly website. With massive thanks to all my patrons, including new patrons Brian Ramsey, ex-Penguin95, Sharkwork, Stephen York, Uwe Closer, Wee Scott's Dog, Marconius and Jason Ooting, and my newest patrons Kevin Seidel and Doc Brew. Thank you all so very much. Hello, good evening and welcome. And I'm sorry I've kept you guys strung along so long. Before we get into anything else, I want to read out the super chats because there was a whole bunch of them on the live premiere and I think a couple more since. So let me just quickly run through those first. Cygnus TSP, beg your pardon, said, "Thank Christ, I got to leave work early so I could catch this." Thanks, Cygnus. Seek Truth, Speak Truth. Oh, sorry, that Cygnus one was $5. Seek Truth, Speak Truth for £5. Mr. Sensible is about to destroy FE. And I like it. Keep it global. Thanks, Seek Truth. Appreciate that as well. And Mr. Cygnus TSP, once again, for $5, a valiant attempt. Mr. S, try it again. Certainly will, Cygnus, certainly will. And Mr. Dave Bunzel, $5 US. Here's to MAGE 2. Definitely, there is going to be a MAGE 2. And GL, for €10, my donation for MAGE 2. Better luck next time, Mr. Sensible, Mr. Q and Arnold. Love this awesome project. So do I. Let me just change screens. Loads of you in here. Well, we got 130 from the top. And I think on the live premiere we had about 330 odd. Absolutely astonishing. Really, really appreciate the interest and the support we've had throughout this. Oh, I see there's a couple more super chats. Let's do those and then we'll get stuck into some of this. Is this going to refresh? Let's just see. I'm getting the hang of this. Have I got my sound on? Yeah, I've got my sound on. Of course I've got my sound on. Who said that? The Snark. €2 for MAGE or for a beer. Good call, Snark. And Brainless Steel NL for €2 for MAGE 2.0. Definitely. Thank you. And I'm not sure it's Michael or Michelle or Michael H. My apologies. For £10, I'm chipping in for MAGE 2 as well. Love this project. It's already a success with me and I wish you good luck with the next. Yeah, it was amazing. I did see that Q was in the stream a little earlier. Hopefully still around. Tonight, I want to dedicate it. Thanks, Q, for all you've done. For your advice, your technical assistance and helping make it possible. I don't know what the odds would have been if I just did it myself. Obviously we didn't succeed, but that was through no fault of the idea, no fault of the design, no fault of the build. It's one of those things, a manufacturing fault that could not have been foreseen, could not have been tested for. One of those things. Never mind. It was a great project, a great day, and I'm looking forward to doing it again. At least we have tried. I'll take criticism from flat earthers when they have done it. Once they've done it, then yeah, they can laugh at me. Until then, not at all. I'm not ashamed, not embarrassed. I'm pleased. And I must admit, I do feel a little guilty, but I did sort of enjoy keeping you all going this past week. Trying to build up the excitement. It was exciting. It was a real roller coaster of a ride. All those little things that could go wrong, didn't go wrong, like the weather, all sorts of things, the predicted landing points, the weather again, and then at the last minute to have three problems. We had the filming, the external filming, one of those things, not the end of the world, the puncture or the leak of whatever sort, which meant MAGE was never going to make it all the way up. And because of that, the partial destruction of MAGE and loss of the camera. As I said in the video, obviously we had to pay for the gas, the thick end of £100, had to pay for the balloon. When I recorded that, I said it was £120, which is price I've seen, but Q had managed to get a better price than I could have, so thanks for that, Q. And of course the loss of the camera, which I have happily replaced for Q because that was his equipment. So we got a nice shiny new camera for MAGE-2. Some more good news though. The manufacturer has, or the supplier has replaced the balloon, which is amazing. So that will really help with MAGE-2. Q and I have got to get together to discuss launch windows. We've just had a couple of quick words to get a rough idea, but we need to work together on that. Now, I've seen there's masses of comments. I'm sorry, I've not been able to keep up with them. What happened? What happened, says Touchpad. What happened, Touchpad, is MAGE went up and it launched beautifully. It was so magnificent because the balloon, I think, was about 10 metres above MAGE. Well, sorry, 5 metres above the parachute 5 metres above MAGE, something like that. And MAGE was 10 metres above the secondary GPS in the little cheese wedge. So it was a really big construction and it just went up lovely. And as you saw from the video, you did get rotation, but it's a nice, gentle, slow rotation. I have seen some high altitude balloons where it's spinning around like crazy. Now, maybe it would do more so when it gets in different winds, but that thing was really, really stable, very stable. Now, people had said to me, oh, you're going to need to do something. What if it spins? Well, as you can see from that slow, gentle turn would never have been a problem for a freeze frame to check the curve of the horizon. So it was all looking good. And unfortunately, as I said, beyond my control, beyond Q's control, beyond the supplier's control, we had a manufacturing fault. Hey, things happen. Onwards and upwards, literally upwards. We will be doing it again. Maybe we'll do some design tweaks. One thing I must say, while I think of it, definitely, the competition. I nearly forgot about it then. Here is the MAGE patch that went up in MAGE to a height of 5,287 metres. There is a winner. There was two people who were very clever, but don't expect it of you guys. One guy said 100 metres. He said, I don't want it to fail, but if it does, I want to win the patch. Unfortunately, he was topped by someone else who said 200 metres for exactly the same reason. So, I've not actually got permission to give his name, and I don't know which country he's from, but Toby, you are the winner. I've got a draft email which I shall send to you in just a second. So if you reply, oh, come on. If you reply to this email, Toby, when you get it, I will send you your MAGE patch because it's yours. You have won it. I will post it to you. 1 second. So Toby, you have got email. I don't know if you're here watching. If you are and you get the email, let us know. But what about MAGE-2? We need a prize for MAGE-2. Well, there were 5 patches. One for me, one for Mini Miss Sensible, one for Osvaldo Greco, who turned my rough design into beautiful artwork, one for Q, and one for the winner. Q has very kindly donated his patch. So MAGE-2 will have the same competition. Okay, everyone who has entered so far, unless you want to change your entries, you're automatically re-entered for MAGE-2 with a chance to win the secondary patch. And hopefully that one is going to go up to 39,000 metres. So good luck. Right, sorry, I've got behind with that. So let's have another quick run through because I see those super chats are coming in. That's so kind of you guys. There's a quick chat run through those, and then we'll bring a couple of people in for a chat. So let me find out where we got to. Right, Piparrot, £2 for another box of Dairy Lee triangles. Thank you, Pip. Oh, and there's 4 kisses on there. Thanks, Pip. Alexander Spank for €10.99 said, we need space biscuits, and a smiley face. That's just what Arnold said. He was not pleased. He lost his nosh, but we shall try that again. And Mr. Neil Sullivan for £5 towards a number 2. Keep smiling. I always smile with a number 2. Thanks for that, Neil. And Roy Fraser, $10 US for MAGE 2. Cheers, Roy. Appreciate that. Oh my goodness. Lost Anna. What is this? CZK. Is that Czech? I don't know what the currency's called. Czech something. K with a C with a little... I don't know what it is. Never give up on MAGE. These are rather small to see. What is it? A balloon, a camera, and a little earth. Thanks very much for that, Anna. Really appreciate that. So, I really hope you enjoyed all that, because I did. And yes, in a few weeks' time, we're going to do it all again. There won't be so much stringing along. Hopefully, it'll go up there. Harry M, you have an email address. Yep, my email address is in the description. It's mr-sensible@hotmail.com. And Thea Fungi, nice first try. Oh, it did so well apart from the manufacturer's fault. Yes, it did. Absolutely did. It was brilliant. So let's get a couple of people in. The first person I want to bring in, actually, I'll wait a second. So people who are in the live waiting room, just be aware that from now on, you could be pulled in at any time into the live chat, all right? So there's your 30-second warning. And here's a direct warning. Mr. Arctic Haze, one of the sponsors, I'll pull you into the live chat in just a minute. It'd be good to have a quick chat about this. I did see someone mention about putting the both cameras on the same side. That wouldn't have actually helped us because it was actually the MAGE side that got lost. But also having 2 cameras on one side, you then start running into balance issues. Someone else also commented about the amount of cat biscuits. We started off with 10 grams of cat biscuits. That's what was planned. But as long as MAGE can lift, if the balloon's got enough lift, it will go up and it will keep going up until it reaches the point that it bursts. The heavier it is, the slower it is. So it will travel further. So we were actually adjusting the amount of cat biscuits as ballast, in effect, to control the landing point. But then, of course, we were defeated by the manufacturing fault. Not to worry. Right, let's bring in Mr. Arctic Haze. If I can drag him over. And switch on the sound. Hello, Mr. Arctic Haze. How are you?
Hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm wondering what you thought of the MAGE flight, sir.
Well, I'm not... Hello.
Hello, you are here. You might
fine.
need to switch off your YouTube sound.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you're going to get feedback.
It was not fantastic, but I wrote you that if you do science, you know that things like that happen. I do oceanography, and we lost a lot of equipment in the sea. So I'm glad that you got what you got. That's for a first time. It's really good.
Yeah, so am I. And I mean, even Mr. Anthony Riley must have broken an egg or two in his science experiments.
Certainly, and I can say that I will support the MAGE 2 with the same amount of money as MAGE 1. I will send you this today.
Well, that is extremely kind of you, Arctic. I really, really appreciate that. And I hope you liked your logo on the side of MAGE. I made sure that you and Bob could see that they were on MAGE.
Yeah, it's very, very nice. Yeah.
And yeah, didn't it fly well? It wasn't swinging around like crazy. It wasn't turning like crazy. With all that woodwork stuck out the front, there was the risk of it pointing downwards a bit, but it was well balanced and strung so that it flew level. And that's exactly what it did.
A pity it didn't go beyond the clouds, because
I know.
we could get British weather.
But I'll just say, S. Thurston 2 has sent £10 via PayPal for MAGE 2. Thank you, S. Thurston, because of course that wouldn't alert me, so I'm glad I saw that. I appreciate that. Yes, it is a pity, but that was one thick deck of clouds from about, I think it's about 2.5 kilometres. We went up to 5.25 kilometres and still hadn't come out the top of those clouds.
Yeah, so, this summer the clouds could have been 10 kilometres high even.
Yeah. Of course, with another attempt, hopefully we'll get through them. And once you're above the cloud, you've got sunshine, and it's guaranteed.
Yeah, exactly.
We just got to get high enough. So that was a shame. So I do thank you for your support, Arctic. I really do.
You're welcome.
and I do hope that you enjoyed that. And I'm really looking forward to doing this again. Be great.
Yeah, I'm looking for it as well.
Excellent. My Discord's gone funny. I can't see. I want to drag in. There we go. I want to drag in someone else with us, Mr. Brainless Steel NL. Hello, a good evening to you, Brainless.
Good evening. Let me. Yeah. Now I'm muted.
Yeah.
So,
how are you, Brainless?
I'm pretty good.
And what did you think of it all?
That balloon, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful craft, and as we just discussed, probably the woodwork on it made it more stable, so it wouldn't turn as much.
It could well be almost acting like a weather vane.
Yeah, and also the extra tracker on the bottom.
Yes.
Would probably also be quite a big difference.
Well, in fact, it saved us in the end, because that's what hooked around that telegraph wire or power cable or whatever it was and stopped MAGE. Otherwise, it would have carried on for a long time.
Yeah, and as it was crossing a road, it could have been dangerous.
Yeah. Well, when we arrived, as you saw on the film, it was still, I think it was sort of pulling up at an angle of 45 degrees. There was a reasonable amount of wind, but all the time that balloon was losing lift and getting lower and lower. At first we thought we would wait for the police, but in the end we had to take action and just stop the traffic, because it would have been very dangerous.
Yeah. But you got some nice views.
I think so. They did look good, didn't they, Arctic? So, some nice views of the countryside.
Yeah.
Hello, Arctic.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I was just saying we had some nice views of the countryside. Had the cloud deck been high,
I tried to say something nice about this weather you had, because you didn't have a good day.
Well, I'll tell you what. When we were trying to fish down MAGE from the cable and collect the bits and so on. That rain was pouring down, and every time a car or a lorry drove past, we got a good splashing. I was absolutely soaked. And it was running down my face, into my eyes, glasses covered. Q was in the same sort of situation. Neither of us could see very well. So it was just amazing that we managed to, collect MAGE in as few pieces as we did.
I tell you something. When you sent me that email that MAGE has launched, I look at the radar and satellite pictures of Britain, and I was terrified, absolutely terrified.
Well, we'd had storms just a few days before. It was the tail end of these storms. It was probably not a good week, but it was the launch window we had, and had we not had that manufacturing fault, we would have been okay. We really would. Never mind.
Yeah, it would look good. Well, if you cross the clouds, even with 10 kilometers, you still would get some nice pictures. Maybe not yet
Yeah.
the curve of the Earth, but still.
I know what you mean.
Uh,
I know what you mean.
I actually think it would be pretty pretty neat to see when you have bad weather down and when you come up the clouds and then it's all just sunshine.
Yes.
Yeah, I really hoped that we'll see it when you showed
Yeah.
the
And of course, because of the weather, that was a down on the upward camera. It was okay as we were approaching the cloud deck. You could see the balloon. But by the time we were coming back down again, there was so much rain on the lens, you couldn't see anything. So a dry day with a lot less clouds would be better. Keep that upward camera clear so that we could see the balloon expanding and expanding. And what I would have done and will do on a successful flight is I'll do a freeze frame on the balloon and draw a circle around it and duplicate the image so that you can then compare as it goes up and see that balloon get larger and larger. Of course, for today, it was not worth that, not worth doing that.
No, sadly, it wasn't.
No, but never mind. But a good thing was I had a lot of practice with the editing using the telemetry and this clever package. I've forgotten the name of it now. Clever software package where you can align a certain point of the telemetry, be that the high point where you get a burst, or in my case where I actually had the landing, and then it does all the graphics, turning that telemetry data into that nice altimeter down the side of the screen. That took about 9 hours to render. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, and it will take longer on a longer flight, of course, but it was good fun. So I spent most of this week with poor shifts pulling that video together. But it was great. And it was wonderful seeing so many people watch it.
Yeah, those graphics looked pretty good.
They did, didn't they? Definitely. I'll tell you what, I'm going to do a quick read again of Super Chats rather than get way behind because...
yeah, you've got a lot of them.
Yes, generously they keep coming in. So where was I?
And I'll eat some more cheese.
So Daybreaker Flint for 13 Swiss francs, a pint for you, and Q for being awesome. Love heart. Thank you for that, Flint. And Mark Green, £4.99. Good luck for MAGE 2. Thank you, Mark. We'll take all the luck we can get. And another Mark for £5. MAGE 2. Hey ho, let's go. Definitely. And Cheese Mondo, $20 for MAGE 2. Thank you, Cheese. Really appreciate that. And EIB, £5. Spend this on cheese or MAGE 2. I admire your efforts. Thank you, EIB. And actually, I really do appreciate that because win or lose, and we always knew this was a high-risk thing, I think it is the effort. It was a wonderful project. And as I said, it's not over yet. A nice thing to do, Unfortunately, Mini Miss Sensible was not able to join us at the last minute because we had the chopping and changing with the dates, and she got caught up with some university stuff. But fingers crossed that she or my other daughter will be able to join us for MAGE 2, because it's quite a special thing, something that you don't do every day, So who else have we got?
No, that's a fun thing to do with your kids.
Absolutely. It's nice to do something different, and it'd be something for them to remember as well. I'm going to bring in Gary, Isle of Wight next. Hello, Gary. How are you? Are you alive, Gary?
I am. You've dragged me in.
I have dragged you in. You all had fair warning. You were sat in a room called the live waiting room. You were waiting, and now you're live.
And now I am live. Yes,
Definitely.
Indeed. Sorry, I just muted the view screen.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Mr. Sensible, I would really love it if you would get in contact with me sometime when you do this next one and give me the spot frequency of the transponders, which I can then pass on to a friend of mine in Cornwall, and we can do a triangulation so that we can verify exactly where you are and how high you are. That would be awesome.
Well, I would have to talk to Q about something like that. We have no problem with the actual tracking and the height. The only time you get an issue is once it starts dropping very low, because obviously its radar horizon gets smaller and smaller. But yeah, I'd have to talk to Q about that as to something, see if it's something he's comfortable with or not. Okay, but I appreciate the offer.
I was just thinking along the lines of having a third party to verify that what you did was what you did.
Well, what there will be is full footage. Assuming we get all the cameras back next time, I will do a cut down results video, like pretty much like that. Although I'll cut down a lot of the flight, maybe show 1 or 2 interesting views. Then we got the actual experimental results comparing the visible curve with what we, with this taut lines and so on.
Sure.
But people will accuse me of editing and all sorts. So a few days after that, there will be released a launch to landing video, non-stop, no cuts, nothing. So it'll be about 2.5, 2 3/4 hours long. So that will show the entire flight as the verification.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah. I mean, there's something else that did spring to mind, and it's a bit out there, but bear with me. You mentioned that you had rain on the lens. Did you ever consider, and I know it will add weights and it will add current drainage to the power supplies, but those rotating windows that they have on ships?
I don't know what they are. Never heard of them.
Okay. On a ship or a fishing vessel, they have in the middle of their square window a circular pane of glass that spins around very fast. So when rain gets on it, it just gets flung off to the side. So it enables the captain to continue to see where he's going without having the rain.
Wow, that's clever.
Yeah. So
my car's got wipers.
Yeah, I know. I know, but when it's absolutely stair-rodding it down, you need more than wipers. That just suddenly come to me. I have to put it out there. It's probably a bit wacky, and it will add extra weight and extra current drain to your power supplies, but it might be something worth considering.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it is an interesting thought. I mean, generally, when I've seen high altitude balloon videos, and there's a lot out there on YouTube, that it is worth having a look. There's some beautiful sites on there. It's not an issue. We were just, in fact, it wasn't even an issue on our way up, but we spent so long in the clouds, from 2.5 to 5 kilometers we were within the cloud, and then a good half an hour slowly coming down in the rain.
Yeah.
It was just too much. I mean, normally you'd be up and through the clouds in a few minutes,
Well, exactly. Yeah, of course you would. But you had that leak, didn't you? Which sucks.
It does.
To be honest.
Big or blows or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Both. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe you could just consider maybe putting that on the upward-facing camera, because obviously the rain will be landing on that.
But of course, if we get good weather, better weather, it's just not going to be an issue at all. It was unlucky. It was not a comedy of errors, but you know what I mean. We had a lot of things, little things mainly, that happened, and then of course the big one with the defective balloon.
And all kudos for you for doing it. I mean, this is so much more than
definitely
flat earthers do. They don't do anything. They just sit there in the wings and whine and bleat and do nothing.
Well, I must stand up for Anthony Riley here. He did have a jug of water, a white coat, safety glasses, and an egg.
He did invest in
and some salt.
Eggs.
Oh, and some salt. Yes. Thank goodness he managed to fund that project without members and super chats and whatever.
Good grief! He must have spent all of £2.50 on it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I wonder if he ate the egg afterwards. I wonder
if he drank the water. Wow.
I wonder if he filled the jug during a stream.
It creased me up there when he said, "I don't really know what these numbers mean, but they're going up."
Yes. As he was testing density with the total dissolved solids meter.
Oh dear. Absolutely.
Yeah.
hilarious.
I just want to give a quick shout out in the side chat. Andre Puelma, and I hope I said your name right. Andre, I hope you saw in the flight video that I did show the diagram that you calculated and produced for me, showing the curve of the Earth at 39 kilometres for a 90-degree field of view camera. That was phenomenal. I appreciate that. I really do. Definitely. So it's nice to see you in here. And actually, again, I'm going to read these before we build up. 1 second. Last few super chats. Where are we? Oh, there's a few again. John Rapp for $2 Australian. Again, please write your contact number on all items. Yes, of course we did recover MAGE, but there was a slight issue which I didn't even bother to mention. Both Q and I both forgot to put contact details on. We won't make that mistake again. Mr. Bjorn Mr. Bjorn Kamitz has super chatted 100 Swedish krona. I'm afraid we don't have time for sex dances tonight, Bjorn. But he also said for MAGE 2, maybe it's the one or not. Keep up the science, smiley face. Thank you, Bjorn. Appreciate that. Mark said for £5 says my hovercraft is full of eels. Mark, my nipples explode with delight. Anyone who's not a Python fan doesn't know what we're talking about. And Antti Hervensalo super chatted €20. Thank you, Antti, for MAGE 2. Brilliant. Thank you, Antti. Appreciate that. All this support I'm getting from everyone, guys, it's amazing, isn't it?
Well, you're doing an amazing project, so.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
And
all our science geeks, we love it, you know. So
yes, we love it.
To you. We're all geeky, nerdy people, so go for it.
Yeah. And with MAGE 2, will you do it pretty soon, or will you wait until next summer so you have a better chance of good weather?
Right. We hope to do it pretty soon. In just well, it's going to depend on Q as well. Well, both of us. I'm not sure of all Q's work commitments and life commitments, because obviously that needs to come first. But we've talked about some possible dates. I'm not going to mention them yet because they're still very much up in the air. But I hope, let's say within 4 to 6 weeks. That's what we're hoping for. Something of that order. Certainly not waiting until next summer. And of course, we'll just have to wait and hope that we get some good weather. Oh, I see that Harry M has said, can I read METAR code or METAR code, METAR? I'm not sure what that is, but you did mention about, you did put a message earlier on asking the same and saying about what the nearest airport is. I'm afraid that sort of thing is all secret. Launch sites are secret. Landing sites will not be secret. I'm quite happy to say where we came down. But at one point we were looking at landing quite close to a motorway. It was all over the place and shot right across the country and out to sea because the ascent rate was rising, slowing, went down a little bit and then carried on up, and it threw all the figures out. And we reached a point we, to be honest, had no idea where it was going to go, and we just had to go and chase it. But in fact, it came down even quicker because of that leak. 2747 about reminding about putting contact information. Yeah, you did, other people did, and we both Q and I know that's something we had to do. We even talked about it on the day, and it was when it was up in the air. We sort of said, "Did you put your name on it?" I didn't put, and we realised that neither of us had put contact details on it. Never mind. The tracking was brilliant, as you saw. We just drove up, and there it was, right above the road, which was very helpful. So we didn't have to go hunting for it through fields.
Did you have GPS tracking on that, Mr.
Two GPS trackers.
Nice.
Yeah, so I actually had 2 telemetry files. I think the one I chose was from the cheese at the bottom because that actually tracked further on down. The other one, the tracking finished, I think, about 1,100 metres up, and that one went down to a lot lower, so I chose that one. Yeah, 2 trackers.
Excellent. Mr. Q sounds like a good man to have on board.
Definitely. I very much fell on my feet. What had happened is we almost got in contact accidentally about it, started talking about it, and he offered his help. And when I knew his experience, I snapped his hands off.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
But it's brilliant because, people can buy an all-in-one high-altitude balloon kit. It's rather expensive, but that's the sort of thing I was going to have to do. And from talking to Q, using the cell phone trackers, it's about 50-50 whether you'll recover. Those odds aren't brilliant, really. But even so, I was willing to try that because of what we were doing.
Still not bad.
No, it's not bad, but in our case, we had 2 trackers on there, 3 battery packs, LiPo battery packs, which I don't think are too expensive, but 3 cameras as well. We lost one, and replacing that has just cost a little under £150. So you don't want to lose it, really. So it was glad to have good tracking and a very experienced Q, and it was good fun in chasing it with all his tracking equipment as well. You know you had the GPS and the broadcast equipment on MAGE, but we had tracking equipment that we were using to chase it, and there was never any doubt. We just drove straight there. Basically, it was astonishing.
Oh, that's fantastic! Yeah.
Yeah,
Gdyby to ktoś inny z nas zgłosił albo bomba w Ameryce, albo do mnie.
Sorry, Arctic, can't really make out what you're saying.
Oh, sorry. I was talking to my wife because my phone froze and I don't have any access to the controls.
I see.
But the voice still works.
Okay. Well, good evening, Mrs. Hayes. Oh dear. Let's get another in. Let's bring in. Oh, actually, we've got 3 more ways. I'm going to bring them all in, and so that was 1, 2, 3, 4. There'll be 7 of us in here, and I think we'll probably limit it to that, unless anyone leaves at any point. So let's bring in Flint. Let's bring in the Snark, and let's bring in Pie Parrot. If Pie Parrot puts her mic on. Hello, Snark, Flint, Pie Parrot.
Good evening.
And how are you, Mr. Hello. So what did you guys think of tonight?
Oh, such a disappointment, and I came with my bells on and everything.
You had your bells on.
Yeah, I said I would be here with bells on and put my bells on, and damn.
But really, Pip, you're in public. There's people all around the world. I think you need to put on more than just your bells.
Oh,
And she's got some pretty hot bells.
I'll have to write you another poem then.
Oh yeah. No, it's such a shame it didn't work out, but I'm glad you're doing it again. Looking forward
Thank
to
you.
it.
Well, the thing is, it would have been nice for attempt 1 to go all the way up there to snap some pictures to show whether the Earth is flat or not. But even so, I think it was good fun. It was well worth doing, and as someone said, it actually shows, because we failed on attempt 1. It shows it's not just faked. It can go wrong, which I think was a good point.
And that you absolutely you broadcasted your failure live to everybody shows intellectual honesty.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You don't know what I cut out, of course, do you?
No.
Nothing of import.
But yeah, the super chats are streaming in. The suggestions for improvements are streaming in.
Oh,
so
let's have a look at those again. Then I'll just refresh. I think Q is still in there, so I'm sure he's taking notice as well. But do bear in mind, everyone, Q has masses of experience.
Yes.
Second best Bob super chatted £5 saying, "Okay, just watch the MAGE vid. I had no notification for it. So sorry, it didn't quite work. Good luck with number 2. Thank you, second best Bob. Appreciate that. With regard to YouTube notifications, I think that the fix is to unsubscribe, subscribe again, and then hit notifications all, because YouTube keeps switching them off for people,
Yeah.
which is a pain in the
I'll create a
backside.
little sign and put it on my toilet. Good luck with number 2.
Oh, and there's another one just come in. Sorry, let me just get that, by Tessa B. I hope I said that right. For £5, I suggest a M.A.G.E to puncture the balloon if things go wrong. Oh, do you mean some sort of something to trigger it to basically abort? I don't think
Self-destruct.
Self-destruct,
That
yeah.
will not affect the cameras.
Well,
right.
a match would do it. That would go pop, big time. But the actual balloon is 10, 15 metres above MAGE. Above MAGE. The only other way you could do an abort is if you, in effect, cut the string. Well, there were 4 strings attached to MAGE, which then tied together, so we had a nice stable support for MAGE, and then you had the parachute above that. If you were going to abort, you'd have to abort it above the parachute, so that's 10 metres away, 5 to 10 metres away from MAGE. It'd be very difficult. Interesting thought, though. And I have heard someone else recently talk about an abort mechanism of a totally different style, but I'm not so sure about it. And of course, you've also got the problem of an abort. Can you imagine it's going up nicely and then the abort triggers in error?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't be very much fun. And I see, I'll read it out. John Rapp, $2 Australian. Can the 2 trackers be attached to the cameras? Well, one tracker is or was within MAGE itself, but had a high sensitivity aerial that was wired to the top of MAGE, so it had good view of the satellites. The second tracker was in that cheese-shaped wedge, which dangled about 5 to 10 metres below MAGE, keeping them all well away from the cameras, because that's the other thing. The cameras give interference, so we had to be careful to try and keep them all as far apart as we can.
Notch filters, that's what you need.
What filters?
Notch filters.
Notch filters. Very nice.
Yes.
What are they?
They will notch out a specific frequency down to like minus 90 decibels, so that it won't affect your GPS thingies.
I see. Yeah. Well, of course, your great enemy all the time with this is weight. You generally have to keep the whole lot as light as possible, but then you can adjust the predicted landing point by adding a bit more weight, so it goes up more slowly, so it'll get carried further. Either, well, for those who didn't see on the previous video, in the UK, the prevailing wind heads towards the east, but once you get above a certain height, the prevailing wind heads towards the west. So
Right, yeah.
you've got to allow for this. So less weight, the faster it will go up. More weight, the slower it will go up.
You could build one with surface mount components, which would weigh micrograms. So
right, well, certainly something like that is way beyond my capability. My capability extends to saying, hey, it would be a good idea to send up a balloon, and I'll send up some cheese and cat biscuits. I need help with the rest of the project.
Do you know, I feel for Arnold, poor Arnold.
Yes, he was not pleased. He did look a bit miffed, didn't he?
He did look miffed. Yes, he did.
But I can't wait to get him to try it. So I didn't show him, beforehand. When it comes to it, I'll show him having some of his biscuits before, but it just didn't seem worth putting onto this video. And the same with the cheese. Once we got it back. Oh, by the way, I must say, I put 3 plastic bags into MAGE with the patch, the cheese, and the cat biscuits. No one commented about won't those bags expand and burst. Yes, they would do, but they actually had lots of perforations in them. I thought ahead. I didn't want cheese and cat biscuits sprayed all over Q's equipment. So as it goes up, they would have depressurized.
Can I ask why did you pick Dairy Lee triangles, not a nice bit of cheddar or something?
Well, I don't know.
This is important. This is
Maybe I
important.
should have put some. What is it? Is it gorgonzola with the holes in? I can't think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dawson,
because
still-
with the holes it won't weigh so much.
It'll add to the lift.
Emmentaler.
Emmental, that's the one. Thank you. Yep. Emmental. And in
Good one.
fact, could you inject hydrogen or helium into the holes for extra lift?
Yeah, you could,
Yeah, that'd
basically.
be good. Yeah.
Yeah, every little helps.
I mean, I could send you actually some real Swiss Emmentaler, so
Emmental is lovely.
ER, that's the initial one. It's not protected by any means, so that's why, yeah. That's where it's actually from. It's called the region where it's from. It's Emmental, but the cheese is actually called Emmentaler.
Emmentaler. How was my
That's just-
pronunciation, Flint? Emmentaler.
That's good. That's actually
Excellent.
pretty good.
Excellent.
Emmentaler.
And Fat Whippet in side chat says, "What's the deal with cheese?" Well, if you've just come to this channel, it's going to look a bit puzzling, Fat Whippet. It goes back a long way. You'd have to check my back catalogue because I did an experiment to bust Anthony Riley with his relative density disequilibrium crap. And I did it with grated cheese. So that's where it started from. And there's been a couple of cheese experiments since, and cheese was involved in MAGE. Although,
And
of course,
Arnold ate one. Arnold ate one.
27,
yes,
27,
Arnold
4,
ate a
7,
cheese flurf.
274727 says hydrogen cheese, and I concur.
Yeah. And of course, hydrogen cheese is not explosive.
No, in no way.
Or have I got no? Hydrogen cheese is, isn't it? It's helium cheese, wouldn't be? Yeah,
But
helium,
hydrogen cheese would be so much more exciting.
wouldn't it? A bang in every mouthful.
Absolutely.
Well, second best Bob says the cheese can't hold gas without a container.
Terrible. I like this one. Who the bleeping hell is the bleephead that always just dislikes his lives or likes? What the bleep?
Yeah,
That would probably be Mr. Tom Tom. I mean,
it
imagine.
could be.
Mr. Dan.
Yeah,
Hey, Wolfie, if you're there, join the stream.
yeah. Sorry, is that? I'm not sure if it's Jaime or Jaime. Giannis, you're right. Every single video and stream I do. In fact, if I launch a live stream or a live premiere a couple of hours beforehand, usually within 2 or 3 minutes, it's got a dislike. Hours before the show even goes out. But hey, if that makes them happy, although it has been pointed out, it's probably a very keen Australian globe earther.
Such dedication.
Who would
there you go.
that be?
Would that be our friend John?
John? Who's John?
John Rapp.
Oh, I see. John Rapp. I don't know.
We should welcome John. He's in the chat, everybody. Give John the traditional welcome.
Yeah.
Which one is that?
Yeah, what's the traditional welcome?
That
The
one.
middle finger.
Hello.
Oh, I see. Parrot, really?
That's the one.
Yeah.
Because
There you
everywhere he
go.
goes, he gets that poor guy. Oh,
Anyway, I need to go rather quickly because I'm keeping somebody awake here, which is not too
Okay,
nice.
Snug. Well, listen, thank you very, very much for joining us, pal. Really appreciate that.
And go Mage 2, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, Mage 2 for the win.
Any idea about
Mage
time
2.
frame?
Go Mage 2.
Yeah, it's going to be
Any
great
idea
fun.
about the time frame, Mr. Sensible?
Not sure exactly. As I said a few minutes ago, perhaps we're looking at something like 4 to 6 weeks. And it's not
Oh,
46. Someone said 4 to 6 weeks.
That's what I said. Jokingly.
I mean, I like forward planning, but 46 weeks away is a bit far.
I thought it was rather funny. Well, this is where I leave you. Enjoy the rest of the stream and speak to you soon.
Thank
Good
you,
night,
Snug.
Snark.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Not
Snark.
just as nice.
And there's a couple more super chats popped in, so let's quickly read those. I'll tell my YouTube's going slow now. Not sure if it's
All those
refreshing.
middle
Okay.
fingers.
It is. It's broken, I think.
Stop doing the middle fingers because you've got to moderate them.
Yeah, so John Rapp had super chatted $2 Australian saying, can the two trackers be attached to cameras? Whitney super chatted $5 US saying, go MAGE 2. Thank you, Whit. And John Rapp, again, $2 Australian, high tensile fishing line, tracker to camera. Me? Question mark. I think he's complaining about you, Parrot, with your welcome.
Oh,
So why are you picking on John Rapp? What's John Rapp done to deserve all that?
he
It
pocket
goes
timed
back-
someone out in Team Skeptics by mistake.
He had his phone in his pocket on Team Skeptics stream one night, and he was blocking people. Everybody was getting blocked and timed out. and when he found it, it was hilarious. So everybody just gave him the middle finger. So that's the traditional welcome. Whenever John shows up, you give him the middle finger.
Yep, anywhere.
Okay.
Well, John Rapp has always been impeccably behaved on my channel, so he don't get a middle finger from me. You're very welcome, John, and thanks for the super chats.
But it was bloody funny.
I bet. Oh dear. Oh, Parrot, your sound's gone all funny.
You're roboting, Pip.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. It's because your signal's coming all the way from Scotland, I think.
That's what it is.
Scotland land.
Scotland land.
Oh,
Any
that's
better now?
yes, it is. And Tears B has super chatted £2 saying, call me Tears. So it's not Tersa. Tears. The Santa. Smiley face. I don't quite get the Santa reference, sorry. But
Got a big white beard. He's Scottish and has a big white beard.
Father Christmas is not Scottish.
He looks like Santa.
Oh, I see. Yes, I can see the picture now. Yes. So, yeah, guys, do you have any thoughts about MAGE 2? Having seen MAGE, we've already discussed about the upward-facing camera and people saying about or someone, I've forgotten who it was, talking about the rain gathering on the lens. But any other thoughts, having seen it?
Maybe you go from a local disused airfield or something.
And why would that be? Or what's your thought on that?
It's a wide open expanse. I don't know. It just came to my mind.
Well,
No reason really.
if you have a look back at the video, it's a fairly big field area. So depending which direction, you could choose a different side of the field. So you've got the entire field to go across. And when that weather balloon is properly gassed, we should be providing lift to lift MAGE at about 5 meters per second. That was the reason I walked towards it. Because as you stood there, the balloon is sort of slowly blowing away from you in the gentle breeze. So walking forward makes it more upright. And that was enough. Just walking forward, let go, and within seconds it was meters up. So you wouldn't be doing it with something like power cables or telephone cables or buildings in front of you, unless you were a real good distance away. But it does go up pretty quick, really.
I know this is.
I think
Or
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
somewhere a bit more central in England rather than where you were.
But that's part of the advantage. We've got prevailing winds. So I'm not going to talk about the location other than to say it was on the western side of the country. So its main travel would be towards the east, which gave us a maximum amount of country before running out. It was only because of the ridiculously slow speed it started going up that it put it right out to sea. Because you don't do launches unless there's sort of no or next to no sort of wind. It was the gentlest of breeze, and Q was saying, oh, it's too much. And I'm thinking, that's not much wind at all. So it really has to be good conditions. Yeah, I appreciate what you're saying. I mean, you wouldn't want to launch it on the east coast because it's going to go east and it's going to get wet.
Yes. And very difficult to retrieve.
or I'll pick it up for you.
Okay, yes, that's a
other
good
side.
point, Brayless. Yeah.
There you go. Nice
Hey,
one,
Blue
Braylon.
Marble Science. Good evening to you. Do you want to hop in, pal? If you've got 5 minutes, just you know how to do it. Jump on the Discord into the live waiting room if you're available and want to. If not, that's cool. Not a problem. Oh, someone's made some suggestion to Q, who said he'll look into it. I didn't see what the suggestion was. What's he suggested? Mark Green. Can you get hydrophobic coatings for the glass and lenses? Well, that's interesting.
Oh, that's
Yes.
a good one.
It's a good idea, yeah.
It is. What about a dome lens over the lens?
A dome lens.
You know, a dome shield, dome-shaped shield.
That would, yeah, that would
make
keep
it
the
perfect.
water off.
It wouldn't have to be very big. It's only got to cover the lens.
Unless it has the effect of a fish eye.
Yeah.
It could start affecting it. But that upward-facing camera was, generally you don't see much. You can see the line going away from you. You can see the balloon and clouds when you're below them. After that, a blue sky getting darker, darker, darker until it's black, and the balloon getting bigger and pop. And on the way down again, hopefully the parachute. But other than that, you don't see much. So that any distortion isn't going to matter too much. You know.
If you put on the dome with a hydrophobic coating, then you would have not much water on it. So,
well, this is true. But it's something to look at, and obviously Q picked up on that, and I guess he'll have a think on that. And I've got Blue Marble Science in the waiting room. Let's bring in Blue. Hello, good evening to you, sir.
Hello, Mr. Sensible. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks, Blue. And how are you?
Oh, doing well.
Good.
Hey, welcome to the vagaries of experimentation, my friend. You have been smitten with Murphy's Law, and it's just going to happen. I mean, those things just happen.
Yeah,
There's nothing you can do about it.
But Blue, you do know that Murphy's Law applies to itself. You know.
Yeah.
So whatever can go wrong will go wrong, but because Murphy's Law applies, that'll go wrong and it'll work.
Well, I go along with the axiom to it, which says that Murphy was an optimist, or at least it always seems like that's what happens to me. I've got plenty of failed junk in the corner that just you don't expect it, and you can't plan for things like that. I mean, really.
No, I mean, had it been something like we'd forgotten to turn the cameras on, or do you know what I mean? Something like that. That's down to us and poor planning, not being meticulous, and so on. But the failure of the balloon, there is absolutely no way we could have foreseen that. No way we could have told there was an issue with the balloon, and nothing we could have done about it. The way you find out is inflating it, letting it go up and see what happens. So there's nothing we could have done.
Have you thought? I had a crazy idea, if you don't mind me throwing something on the table.
I don't mind.
I wondered, of course, if it was a windy day, you'd have an issue with this, but I just wondered if you could measure the buoyancy of that thing with a very simple thing like a fish scale, and just monitor that for a few minutes, or 30 minutes, 45 minutes before you let it go. And I don't know if that would work or not, but it was just an idea.
Well, I suppose. I mean, it was roughly half an hour that MAGE was going up, so I guess if you were able to measure the amount of pull, you would have seen that pull go down. But then you're still at the point, oh well, we can't use that balloon. We've got to let the gas out, £100 worth of gas, and try again another day with another balloon. What Q does is he we know the weight of the payload, and you take in, you allow for things like the line and everything, the tape that's used to seal it up, all sorts of things. And then if you've got that plastic milk container with the correct amount of water in it to be the equivalent, then as you fill that with gas, when it starts lifting that milk container, you know you've got the right amount of gas. Once that was full and we disconnected it from the hydrogen supply and tied it off, I was holding that balloon, and it was quite amazing how strong a pull that was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was astonishing, really, because it's only got to lift, I don't know, it was a little under 1 kilogram. Perhaps it was approaching a kilogram in that we had to add the extra cat biscuits to control the landing point. But something like a kilogram. But it was pulling up, obviously, more than that. It needed to be able to not just hover that kilogram, but lift that kilogram.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Demon
It's got to accelerate that 1 kilogram.
Yes.
It's some acceleration rate, whatever you're planning on.
5 meters per second, sort of on the way up. That's what we're looking for, because you don't want it to go up like a rocket, and you don't want it to take too long. If you don't put enough gas in, it will go up and up until it becomes neutral, the amount of lift against the amount of weight, and it will just float. It hasn't gone high enough to burst the balloon. It needs to go high enough so that it expands to the point that the balloon can't take it anymore, and that's your control. That pops it and brings the thing back down again.
Yeah, 5 meters per second is that's 300 meters per minute. That's 1,000 feet per minute. That's a pretty spiffy climb rate.
Yep.
In a light aircraft, that would be you'd be very happy if your Cessna 172 would climb at 1,000 feet a minute.
I'm guessing the amount of gas you put in determines when it bursts as well, at what altitude it bursts.
Absolutely. The more gas you fill that, if you filled that balloon so it was a nice fat round balloon, it's not going to go up too far before that expands and bursts it. If you put in hardly any, it'll go up much higher.
A lot higher. Yeah.
But then it's got to be enough to lift what you're carrying. So it's all a question of balance. And then once you've got all that worked out, I know it's this much gas to lift this much weight to that sort of height. You plug it into the predictor that also takes the current weather as an input, and it tells you where it lands. And that's when you find out it's going to land in the middle of the sea. So you want to shorten the distance, so you have to change the weight, which then possibly means change of the gas and so on. So it's a real balancing act between all those variables.
What's the?
Oh yeah.
You were talking about either using hydrogen or helium.
Yeah.
What are the differences? What variables are we talking about? How does this affect?
Right. Helium is more expensive. Hydrogen is cheaper. Helium is a safe gas to use. Hydrogen can be a bit explodey.
Yeah.
Hydrogen will provide more lift. So you've got advantages and disadvantages. The issue comes with the landing prediction. The helium can be modelled quite well, how that behaves in the balloon. It gets trickier with the hydrogen because it changes. Now, I don't know, this is sort of getting a bit beyond my knowledge. I was listening to Q and I learnt a lot, but I know that it changes at different heights. The hydrogen reacts slightly differently, and modelling that is very, very difficult. The helium predictions are pretty good for hydrogen, but not as accurate.
Do the densities of the gases change at a different rate where they get colder, the higher they go? Is that a factor?
I'm not sure. I see Q still in the side chat. Perhaps Q can put some sort of explanation in there about why the hydrogen is harder to model than the helium. But we were talking about it, and it has come up in discussion with people, but it seems to be an awful lot of work and maybe sort of nigh on impossible to model in the same way they've done with helium. And the helium prediction is close enough that you're not really generally going to worry about it. Oh, Ters says hydrogen is more responsive to temperature and can fall out of the sky if you can't pressurise it. Oh, Q says helium tends to have more lift and air resistance balance throughout the flight. Hydrogen accelerates at a higher altitude.
So it increases its speed the higher it goes.
Yes, that was one of the things he was saying, because when MAGE was going a little slower than we thought, he actually said, look, don't worry too much, because when it gets higher, that will change. And it did change. But of course, we're also balancing it against whatever sort of leak it had. So yeah, basically.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's... and he's put a further explanation. So helium might be 5 meters per second all the time. Hydrogen might start at 4, then 5, then 8 to 9 before burst. So,
wow.
Yeah. So it all gets a lot more complicated. And so I think basically they say, well, the helium prediction, that's good enough. That'll do. It's close enough.
Right.
I'm sure that...
yeah,
go on, Karen.
I was just going to say, I mean, these aren't things that you would consider from a layman's point of view, but
no.
Obviously Q knows his stuff, so...
Definitely.
That's very interesting.
Because, I mean, had I been doing as I originally planned, I mean, I had been looking for some advice over some of the equipment. It would have been a case of, right, I think today's a good day, because I wouldn't, I would have checked the weather and, it doesn't look very windy. I would not have known or been able to do anything with landing prediction. And it really would have been a case of, right, let's put the gas in, let go, and see where the hell it goes. So we talked earlier on about 50-50 with the cell phone tracker, but I could have been landing it in the middle of a city, the ocean, right next to a motorway, very dangerous. But that's what a lot of people do.
I mean, not everybody's got a Q.
Not everybody has a Q.
No,
definitely.
Could you not mix the two gases to kind of come to a compromise, or is that not really something you could do?
I don't know, and I that's beyond my pay grade, definitely. Whether that's something that would make any difference or not, or is just not worth the trouble, I really don't know. But the hydrogen is obviously quite a bit cheaper than helium.
Yeah.
And as long as you...
I think,
but it's very exciting.
I think that's the answer. It wouldn't make it... I mean, mixing gases is just adding complexity. I don't think you're going to get much bang for your buck doing that.
No.
Go with one or the other.
I was just thinking aloud, Blue.
Yeah.
And
why not? Of course, with hydrogen,
sure.
you can get an awful lot of bang for your buck.
Quickly.
That could actually be used as a mechanism for bursting the balloon if something goes wrong.
But as I said, you're talking about a balloon that's sort of 10, 15 meters away from your payload. And what I'm not really sure what you're thinking of as what might go wrong. The only going wrong is if your landing looks like it's going to come down in a somewhere dangerous, but or let's say out to sea, in which case you wouldn't have launched. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hydrogen doesn't there's a very narrow range of concentration of hydrogen that's actually explosive. For the most part, pure hydrogen simply burns. It'll do that rapidly, but it's not an explosion.
Absolutely,
it's just a fireball.
What was it? The
Zeppelin.
Yeah, the Hindenburg.
Hindenburg, that's the one. It didn't explode, did it? It just burnt very, very quickly.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It'll burn very quickly. It's pretty interesting. I've seen that demonstration done with hydrogen in party balloons, and they'll do it inside a house or inside a banquet hall or something like that. It just makes a flame.
Yeah. Well, Chris Stevens too, I think, has just made side chat post of the night. What does Sleeping Warrior and MAGE-1 have in common? They both leak while on camera. Thanks for that, Chris.
Nice one.
Thank you. Yeah.
We've had no flat earthers either, commenting or gloating or anything so far. Not a single one.
There was a flat earther.
There was one earlier, yeah.
Flat Earth camera or something it was called.
M.A.G.E.
Oh, that's
Okay.
it. Mike. Yeah.
What was he saying then?
I don't know
He
people
was
just
saying-
shouting about.
Well, he said all the globe deniers have got more intelligence than you lot put together. So he was put on the naughty step.
Oh. Well, what a shame all the globe deniers can't put up a balloon and take a photo of their glorious stationary
Well-
flat Earth.
Mhm.
Well, I did say to him, why don't you avail us of the experiments you've done?
And what did he say?
There was nothing forthcoming.
No, not at all. There never is there?
No. Same old.
And actually, Blue, how is your experiment going? Your Cavendish? Perhaps you'd like to give us an
I'm still
update.
building. Still building parts and pieces.
Oh dear,
Working on the framework for the thing right now.
Okay.
And hopefully I'll have most of that finished over the weekend with any luck.
So where does that put you on the
and-
timescale of sort of actually trying the experiment then?
I'm hoping to start doing some preliminary work on it
Yeah.
in the next 3 weeks or so.
Oh, so not far off now then.
Yeah, should be able to, hopefully. I think I have everything under control at this point. Still some questions about exactly how we're going to instrument this thing and exactly what needs to be done. I'm going to talk with AB Science a little bit about that too, because we need to make certain that we are collecting the quality and quantity of data that you need to have something that's statistically valid. And
Well,
if
AB,
you don't do that, what's the point of doing any of this? And AB is a guy that knows how to do it.
I was just going to say, AB, that's a good call. He knows his stuff, doesn't he?
Is the chassis built, Blue? Have you finished the chassis altogether?
What do you call on the chassis? The
Well,
actual the enclosure?
Yeah, the whole enclosure without the masses installed on it.
Well, you've seen you've probably seen the actual little mahogany enclosure that the small masses rest in, and that is complete.
Oh, good.
What I'm building now is the framework that supports the large masses, and those have to rotate, and all that stuff.
Okay.
And I thought about going the cheap and dirty route and just framing that thing up, kind of like building a house. But we've gone this far. Why not make mortise and 10 joints? And do all the usual woodworking stuff. So I've been having fun with that.
I just wish I could smell that wood as you're working it, because it just looks amazing. It really does. Yeah.
Wood's
Sapele is
smell of
wonderful
wood.
smelling stuff. Yeah. Southern yellow pine I'm working with right now doesn't smell all that great, but the Sapele is excellent.
Sapele's nice, isn't it, Blue?
Yes, it is.
Definitely. I've got a couple more super chats to read out. I'll take this opportunity. John Rapp, $2 Australian. I think this is following his traditional welcome. He said, "Not complaining, I'm honoured. All good, Mr. S." He then super chatted again for $2 saying, "Thank you, awesome chat." And then Pling2 super chatted £10 saying, "Towards MAGE 2. Thank you, Pling2. How about a spring balance between the balloon and the milk container for a few minutes to see if it holds?" Which is what someone had suggested. It may have been you in the side chat. And I did see that Q, I'm not sure he said he's done it before, or that it can be done. So that's an interesting thought. But certainly that milk bottle judged it well, because when I let go of the thing, it didn't shoot up in the sky like a rocket. It went up at a nice lick. So that's a nice simple method of gauging the amount of lifting gas. We got Multi Tom Tom in the chat. Multi Tom Tom, me old China. Have you got the cojones to come into chat tonight? I'm still waiting for your video that you're going to produce for me, dedicated to me, that would be undebunkable. That's now been, it's got to be getting on for a year now, Multi Tom Tom. I'm patient, but this is getting a bit beyond the pale.
Dear.
But I can't wait, guys, because it's going to be undebunkable, apparently. Allegedly.
Nah, he doesn't. He hasn't got the balls.
No, he does not
Blue
have
has.
the
Blue has the
got the
balls.
balls,
Multi
yeah.
Tom Tom does not.
Oh,
Mass does not attract
well, it's a
mass.
challenge for you, Blue, because Multi Tom Tom says mass does not attract mass. So, Multi Tom Tom, when Blue has finished the construction and preparation on his Cavendish experiment, you're going to have to explain the results. I'm sure you'll do a video just for Blue, telling him how his Cavendish experiment has not shown that mass can attract mass. What do you say to
I'm
that, then,
sure-
Blue?
Boy, I hope he.
I'm sure Blue
I
will
hope
get
he.
cracked out of the table.
I certainly hope he does, because I'm going to be terribly confused if those balls move toward each other. I mean, I'm not going to know what else to say. So
You're going to have Gladys on standby, Blue.
Well, perhaps
I miss.
perhaps it's just love that makes those balls move together, Blue.
Well, you know, we do have the two large 50-pound balls named Big and Blue, and the little one named Q and E. I mean, QE's had a thing for my balls for a long
Yeah,
time
yeah.
anyway. So
Well, don't mention it to Nathan Oakley. He's really got a thing for that. You know, I challenged him to a debate off of his channel, Blue, and he agreed on one condition, and that was that I sucked his balls and looked into his eyes while I did so. Needless to say, I'm still not having a debate with him, and he still won't come off his channel. So he's got an
of
interest in
course
balls.
not. You'll never get him out of there.
No.
He won't do it.
Not now. Not after last time.
Oh.
Was it Catz who took him to bits?
Yeah, I think so.
Mr. Sensible.
Yes.
Just a quick one for you.
I'm sorry. I just
don't
realised
normally
it's you,
pop in
Colon.
here.
Sorry.
I don't normally pop in here and do this, but little message from Multi Tom Tom.
Oh.
I am just an idiot on the internet.
Thank you, Multi Tom Tom.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that with us, Tom Tom. And thanks, C.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Going
Oh
with the
dear.
soundboard.
Multi
Yeah, that's
Tom
got to be
Tom.
onto the soundboard.
I see there's another super chat. I have to refresh this dreaded thing because my OBS doesn't show super chats at all. Oh, it's another one from John Rapp. John, you're being very generous for $2 Australian again. Contribution for some space hydrogen. #FlyMage2 fly. Cheers, John. And I definitely will not hear of people giving John the middle finger. Definitely not. He's a top guy.
God, here we go again.
No. Oh dear. Yeah, Tom. Oh, Chris Durham Musical. Hello, Chris. And for those who don't know, Chris Durham Musical wrote and was the main singer in the intro music that's been used, the 1960s James Bond style intro music that's been used on these MAGE videos, which has got a lot of positive feedback, Chris. Definitely. So thanks and welcome.
We discussed that when it started. It's a great intro song.
It is good, isn't it? Really like it.
It's beautiful. And so professional.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard two versions of it. One was where Chris was doing all the vocals, and then I nearly said her name. I would say her name to credit her, but I better not. But the lady who sings with him as well, the version which we're actually using, and they're both excellent, really are. Oh, and I can't really say his name. Smulbustkubber. SMLBSTCBR says, don't use helium, it's a precious gas and we're running out of it. Absolutely, that's another aspect of the choice of hydrogen. The reason it's cheaper is because helium is quite rare.
Yeah, but when the balloon breaks, the helium goes back into the atmosphere, so
Yeah, but
it's not being lost, is it, really?
Yeah, but helium's going to, well, hydrogen's not a worry. We can make plenty of that.
You cannot create or destroy it. So there's a finite amount, and it will always be the same.
But can you get hold of it? I'm not sure. Oh, NA's just super chatted $6.66. Dun, dun,
Hail
dun.
Satan.
Hail Satan.
Always
Hail
seem to miss
Satan.
your live chat. Hail Satan. Thanks, NA. Appreciate that. And Chris Durham has given the go ahead. Yes, the lady who sang or is singing in that intro is Amanda. So, Amanda, if you ever do happen to watch one of these streams and catch this, thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's lovely. And it's very popular.
Well, we actually can make helium, but it takes a really big kaboom to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to get it up afterwards.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm a terrible man.
Oh,
I know.
I see that Arctic Haze has just posted saying he's lost his voice connection, so goodbye. MAGE2 money is already in my account. Thank you, Arctic. That is incredibly kind of you. Much, much appreciated. Thank you for the sponsorship, and thanks for joining us tonight. Cheers. And it's good to talk to you. I think that's the first time we've actually spoken directly. We've messaged but never spoken before. Oh, and Tom, you're still there. Global Mom, the Earth is not a geosphere. What the hell are you talking about, Tom? Why don't you come on to chat and tell us? You will be welcome. You will not be sworn at, shouted down, muted, or anything like that. As long as you're polite and so on. You're welcome.
Cordial.
To join. Cordial, yeah. And we will all be cordial to you.
Tom, you tout yourself as an educator. So please, come and educate us. We're dying for your pearls of wisdom.
Definitely. I know that Tom said that his videos are for the future, for people in 200 or 300 years to learn from. So, post it on here. It's just another way that people in the future can learn of your wisdom. We would like to.
We'd love it, yeah.
And I'm sure that you could tell Blue Marble Science how he's got his Cavendish experiment wrong and make useful suggestions to him. You can make suggestions that I and Q can take on board for MAGE2. Definitely.
And you can also educate me, Tom, on how I'm so wrong on radio propagation.
Wow, there we go. What more can we say?
I'd be very grateful if Tom could tell me more about what I should be doing with Cavendish. Definitely.
And we're open to learning. And just
Absolutely.
a quick reminder, Tom. My email address is in the description. Please email me so that I can go ahead and organise that debate that you said that you'd be happy to do with Dunning-Kruger. As I said, I do know Mr. Kruger, and I can organise that. You just need to message me, all right? And we'll get that sorted, and you can have a one-on-one debate with Dunning-Kruger.
Shouldn't that be Dunning-Tom?
No, Tom did say that he would. It was a comment on one of his videos, and someone mentioned Dunning, and he said, Dunning-Kruger, who's that? I'll debate him as well. And fortunately, I do know Dunning-Kruger, and so I can organise it. You could probably choose whatever channel you want, whatever venue. You're welcome to have the debate on here if you wish. I would do nothing more than moderate to make sure it's kept fair. Won't get involved. Just you and Dunning-Kruger. So come on, Tom. Just email me.
Jump in. We're dying to hear your pearls of wisdom.
I mean, this is your chance. It's like as if I knew Neil deGrasse Tyson or something could organise that. I don't, so I can't. But I can organise a debate between you and Dunning-Kruger. So come on, pal.
Well, Team did have a thing with... he had Lawrence Krauss on one of his streams.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Did you not see that?
I don't think I did.
No, that was a great one. So, Tom, come on. Educate us. We're dying.
Or at least come up with a reason why you can't.
He won't because he can't. He just won't. Because he's full of it.
Tom. Yes, we are all teasing you a bit, some a bit harder than others, but that's because you're not showing up. And as I said in the chat earlier, as long as you come in and you're nice, we will be nice to you as well.
Can I post the link to this live thing, Mr. Sensible, for TomTom, so he can just click it and come in? All you got to do is click it.
What do you mean for the Discord?
Yeah, can I put that in the side chat?
Well, you won't be able to. Well, have a go, Gary, but I don't think you'll be able to. However, TomTom, the Discord link is in the description. That will get you onto my Discord server, and then you just jump into Mr. Sensible Live. I'll read a couple more super chats. Mr. Mark Bisa, has super chatted $6.66 US, saying, when the balloon bursts, the helium is that much closer to the altitude it needs to piss off into space. That's a technical explanation of what happens to the helium. And Brother Grief super chatted £5, saying just a small donation for MAGE 2. Brother, I really appreciate that, and I'm sure that Pip would back me up on this. It's not the size that counts, is it, Pip?
No, indeed.
No. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Brother Grief, for the super chat. It's really appreciated. And Bjorn Kamitz has super chatted 100 Swedish krona. Again, I'm afraid no time for sex dances tonight. Saying, when Flurfs make legit experiments, all we hear is, and it showed a 15 degree per hour drift, but then crickets. Or, that's interesting, and then crickets. I wonder where's the follow-up. Absolutely, Bjorn. Absolutely. So I'm going to do MAGE 2 again. I'm going to do MAGE again as MAGE 2. And basically, it's a rerun of what we wanted to do. So, let's say MAGE 2 works. Is it worth, do you think, doing a MAGE 3? This is just pie in the sky talk, really. To go for absolute maximum height, or something like that, or some other experiment.
Well, going for maximum height, that would be interesting.
It would. I don't know what the maximum height for a high altitude balloon is. I've not seen Q in the chat for a while, so maybe he's left because we've gone 11 o'clock. I don't know if he's got work tomorrow or whatever. I don't know. But also, what other experiments could we do? Obviously, this was a nice, straightforward, let's see the curve with a non-distorting camera and try to have those lines to prove that there's no distortion. Nice, simple, straightforward. I don't know what other experiments we could do. I mean, I suppose we could, if we did run another one, we could look at things like the temperature and pressure measurements. But I don't know if that's worth another run, because altogether it is quite an expensive undertaking. Which, and I'm not saying that to try and raise money, because people have been so generous. MAGE 2 is going to happen. Okay, money's not an issue for MAGE 2. But yeah, I don't know.
Be a good thing, Mr. Sensible.
Yeah.
To get something like a excuse me, a 35mm camera, like a Pentax M.A.G.E Super, which is very light, with a winder on it, and then you could, because then there would be no debate about whether it was CGI or computer generated. It would be on film. A Pentax M.A.G.E Super you can pick up for 25 quid off of eBay. A winder you'll get for tenner. They're very light, and you could control it by remote control, and it would be recorded on film.
When you say by remote control, you have to broadcast a signal that says take a picture.
Yeah, you could just press a button and it would take the picture, and the winder would automatically wind the film on.
So, I mean, with the GPS, we would know the height, and let's say we knew, okay, we're at 37,000 feet. We might go higher. It might burst any moment, and we come back down. So let's work on that. But you don't know what MAGE would be looking at. You don't know if it's swinging around and it's at an angle. You just don't know. and you'd be broadcasting a signal that says take a photo, blind basically. I'm not knocking it. I'm just sort of what's the word?
You can get data. You can get data backs for them as well. That would. But yeah, of course. We've moved on from 35mm. But I'm just thinking there would be no dispute. It would be on film. It would be analog and not digital.
What do you mean, like the analog film that was taken on the moon?
Yes, exactly.
That's the problem, isn't it? They won't accept anything. But yeah, I mean, if MAGE-2 goes up, takes that picture of that curve with a non-distorting lens, and you can see that that curved horizon is quite near one of those taut lines, which you can see is still straight because a paint package line shows it's still straight. You can see there is curve. So anything a flat earther says about it's flat, you can point at that image and
say no, it's not.
Yeah. Suck it up, princess. Yeah.
How'd you like those apples?
Absolutely. and I see we got another super chat or two. Let's have a quick look. Mark Tin. Let me just refresh it so I see the whole message. For £10, Mark Tin super chatted saying, "Here's hoping for better luck and better weather for MAGE-2. Amen, brother. Definitely. Hope so." It's going to be cool, isn't it? It's, to be honest, it's whet my appetite, if anything else. At no point did I think, that hasn't worked. It's not worth it. It's too expensive. I don't want to do it. No point at all. It's made me want to do it all the more because I've got a small taste of success,
And right.
Yeah, and everybody chipped in a little bit, so it wasn't that expensive.
This is true. An awful lot of people have chipped in. It's been amazing, Brainless. And then, of course, I've got my members, my patrons, many of whom have supported me for many, many months, and super chats of all sorts of amounts, and some direct donations as well. It's been quite astonishing. It really has. And
it's been a whole community project, hasn't it, really?
Yes, it's been nice to get people involved. Actually, that's part of why, I could have... I posted a message on the day that said MAGE has flown, okay? Or in fact, I did a quick video, didn't I? About 2-minute video saying MAGE has flown. You're going to have to wait till today to find out. No, I could have said MAGE has flown, didn't get very high, and, we lost the camera. But I thought it's more interesting and suspenseful and keeps people involved to tell the story with the ups and downs, like the weather and so on, all the things that we were struggling with.
And to show the failures adds to the legitimacy of it as well.
Yes, which a couple of people said, and I think that's very true. I hadn't really thought of that because, to be honest, it didn't cross my mind not to show it, because there's no embarrassment or shame. It was a good effort. I think it was an excellent idea. I think the design was cracking, the construction was cracking, everything was wonderful, and we were just kicked in the nuts by a manufacturing fault. It's one of those things. It's not worth crying over it.
Completely unforeseen. Nothing you could do about it.
If at first you don't succeed, try again.
Yep, definitely. And Crouching Tiger, Hidden Adam. I like that name. Just super chatted £5 saying, "I used a Raspberry Pi Zero. You can get higher and it is lighter." I know that a lot of high altitude balloonists use Raspberry Pis, and I don't know basically Raspberry Pi cameras, which I believe are extremely light as well. That's not in my technical sphere of capability, I'm afraid. And Q, as you know, has masses of experience, a lot of equipment. So, that's why we go the way we went. And there's no issues with it, And the tracking worked beautifully. As you saw, we just drove straight up. And Andre Puelma said that they will argue that the line is loose. The line was spring-loaded, Andre. Definitely. And, of course, because I'll be showing as well as the sort of results video, which is obviously cut down and edited because we can't all sit there for 2.5, 2 3/4 hours. The full footage will be shown, and they can take screenshots at any point within, let's say, that 2 3/4 hour film, and see if the string's straight, because it'll be straight the whole time. At worst, you might get, if there was a gust of wind, a quick vibration in the string, but what you're not going to get is the string sagging. Definitely not. Besides, what would make it sag? There's no such thing as gravity. They're always telling us that.
Well, they will find that moment where there is a gust of wind.
Yes, I expect so. And
take a screenshot at that moment.
Okay, but then they'd have to explain the other. I mean, I forget how many at 60 frames a second, how many other frames they could grab that will show the line as straight as an arrow. That would be cherry picking of the highest order. So actually, you can't put that past them, can you?
Yeah, but cherry picking is a thing, isn't it?
Definitely.
They love cherries. But I've just looked up for the high altitude balloon. It's between 18 and 37 kilometers. So you could go slightly higher.
Well, our target is 39 kilometers. We're already
39.
beating that. Yeah, which is Felix Baumgartner's height. Someone did post just a few minutes ago. I can't see the post, but posted the record height. I can't see it now. I think they said about 182,000. Whether that's feet or meters, I don't. No, not 182,000 meters. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be like
182 kilometers. Yeah, that would be going some. Must have been feet.
Yeah. It was Fred Bailey. He said 173,000.
You would hit the dome by that point.
173,000 was it, Blue? You said
feet. Yeah, that was Fred Bailey.
Right.
He says that's the balloon record. Sounds about right.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I mean, you run out of atmosphere at 173,000. There's nothing there. There's nothing to push it back any further up. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your boat can't float above the water.
Can I just say, I was just checking. I was just going to switch to another window to do a conversion on those heights, and my other window is set to my email, and I see a couple of donations that have come in. I won't name the person, but someone has made a very large and incredibly generous donation. Give their initials, M.B. Thank you very, very much. That is astonishing. I really, really appreciate that. Wow. Very kind.
The one thing I can say for the community is that they are very generous, and I've been absolutely amazed at the way people have supported what I've been doing, and I've seen you getting the same kind of support from all the great people that are out there that are taking an interest in these things, and it really makes me feel good at this. And I know it makes you feel good too.
Definitely, it's a wonderful community, isn't it? And I'm glad the other way round that they're supporting you in your Cavendish experiment. It is wonderful, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it gives you the feeling that you actually are doing something useful for a change, other than just laughing at these idiots.
Yeah, although that is quite useful. But I know what you mean. It's a positive step, isn't it?
Yeah, and for other people, it's also gives you a sense of helping with doing something useful. So yeah.
And I mean, it has helped. I mean, I was willing and planning on funding MAGE, but the support has been absolutely astonishing. Had I just funded MAGE myself, and now being in this position, and obviously having then to pay for, okay, we don't have to pay for the new balloon in the end, but the gas, a camera, and so on. I might well have been thinking, oh, can I, should I, will I? But no, it's not a question. It's been supported. It's happening. That is not an issue at all now. So thanks, everyone. Big thumbs up.
Yeah.
MAGE, the people's payload.
Now that's something you need to put on the side of the balloon, Mr. Sensible. MAGE, the people's payload.
The people's payload.
Yes.
I might have to get in touch with Osvaldo Greco to see what we can do to make a minor adjustment to the MAGE patch, which I've just realised is a silly thing. Let's put it in. I forgot to display it. Yeah, I can't redo the MAGE patches themselves because that was rather a lot of money just for a handful of patches. I had originally ordered 5 of these patches, and then I got in contact with them, and I said, "Oh, can I?" Because they hadn't dispatched the order. I said, "Can I have one more?" They said, "Oh, of course you can. We'll have to pay a new setup fee for the artwork and that. That'll be another £60 for one patch. It would have been then." So I had to say, "No, we'll stick with the 5 we got."
Wow, really?
Well, it's because they have to set up all the
Yeah,
equipment.
I think the setup is. That's more expensive than making the patches.
Definitely. I mean, I think the patches, because the more you have, the cheaper they get. I think that the patches themselves worked out to be about £5.50 each. So still not cheap. But if you were doing one more patch and it's sort of £60 to set it all up, plus that would have not been very good. So we'll stick with these MAGE patches. And of course, I've not had a reply from Toby, but he has got an email from me. Toby is the winner, having guessed 200 meters. He's a clever boy. But next MAGE would not get you anywhere, not doing a little guess like that. You're going to have to be up in the high 30s, I reckon, at least. Definitely.
Mr. Sensible.
Hello.
Instead of patches, you could do stickers.
Well, I suppose you could.
Just an idea.
Or bumper stickers. Something
Bumper
like
stickers.
that.
What would the bumper sticker say?
I don't know. I'll leave that entirely up to you.
It's definitely not flat. I checked twice.
but some people have been testing it for 5 years, and they say it's flat.
Well, that's true. That's true. Hologram, says Neil Sullivan. Yes. Well,
record altitude is 53 kilometers. That's about 173 feet.
1,000 feet, yeah. I guess that would be. I mean, all you need to do is you've got your balloon, a minimal size payload with just basically a GPS tracker, something to detect the height, no cameras or anything, and that would then need a very tiny parachute because it hardly weighs anything, so that saves weight as well. Yeah, you could do that, and then you get a big number that shows you've gone up very high. But I guess that's all you get out of it.
Yeah. The payload has to be useful.
I'm sorry, the payload?
It still has to be useful. So
it does. And of course, as soon as you start doing that, you're going to lose height.
Yeah.
Ha! John Rapp said, "Mr. Sensible, there's a fancy doohickey that may help with a patch. It's called an embroidery needle." Well, I don't know what your embroidery skills are like, John, but mine suck. So do feel free to contact me to pop round and get your little needles out and embroider an eye on the MAGE patches. Go ahead, knock yourself out. Oh man! And I'll tell you what. This week I've had a dreadful set of shifts. Normally I'd get earlys, lates, and nights. Well, they've all been sort of starting sort of early-ish in the morning, sort of 10 o'clock in the morning. So you can't really do anything beforehand, and then finishing at 8 o'clock at night. So by the time I get home, it's nearly 9 o'clock. So I can't do anything then. So this week I've not been able to do videos. The best I could do is sort of kick off rendering this part of the MAGE video or that part of the MAGE video and leave it running overnight. I have really missed being on YouTube, interacting with everyone, on chats, on other people's streams and things. It's been really hard week. And it's not, this has been so enjoyable tonight.
Yes, the live streams are always a welcome part of the week.
Definitely.
And because you're on now, yesterday we had a surprise stream from a little Scottish lady.
Ah, was that you, Pip?
Oh yeah, that was great fun.
Actually, do you know what? Do you know what? I think I caught 5 minutes of that. I didn't even comment because I literally was just flicking channels just before I was going to switch off, and playing some sort of game where people were answering questions.
Yes, Quiplash.
Yes.
So did you have to use some sort of app to take part?
It's no, it's just in your browser.
You just go to jackbox.tv.
Okay.
But the thing with Quiplash is it reveals people's personality and what they're all about. It's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious.
Oh.
It reveals your worst side. I think
yes,
from
it does.
The people in the voice chat, there's just 2 that were not in that stream, right? Flint was there too, right?
Well,
you must come along, Mr. Sensible, to Pi Parrot's Quiplash things on a.
Well, if I
Thursday.
see one going, or if one of you can let me know sort of shortly before, if I'm around, I'll be happy to. It did look fun, but as I said, I only had 5 minutes, so I just watched for a few minutes because I thought, well, that's interesting, that's different. I wonder how they do that, and that was about it, really. I think I saw maybe 3 questions. Something like that.
It is hilarious.
Yeah, it's great fun, and there are a lot of different games that can be played.
Bits off. You will laugh your bits off.
Well, I see that Brad Wegner said, Mr. Sensible, how about a 2-stage balloon? 1 high altitude balloon just to get high, 1 stage for payload. Well, the thing is, Brad, what makes it all come back down again is the burst. So you want 1 balloon that's going to get you up there, expand until it can't take it anymore. You get your burst, and then you're on your way down, eventually slowed by the parachute. If you've got a second balloon, I don't know how that would. I don't know if that would help at all with getting up there, but you're going to have 1 balloon burst, and then you've just got a second balloon. It's going to. I think it would make things horrendously complicated. I don't know if it's possible or not, but the standard is 1 balloon. I mean, that's what all of the scientists do, as far as I'm aware, with the, when they're sending up weather balloons. I've never seen a multiple one. Sorry, I'm just looking at something interesting. Well. Do you know what, guys? Oh, hello, Blue. How are you?
Just a quick question. Did the balloon survive intact enough that you could determine where the problem was?
We had hoped that we might be able to examine it, but of course it was strung up across the road, and once I'd stopped the traffic, Q sort of hooked the line to drag it down. So we dragged MAGE down, dragged the balloon down, and we had to basically burst it to let the hydrogen go. So, and it ended up in a sopping wet mass on the grass. So it could well have got further damaged anyway, so it wasn't even worth looking at it. And I suspect that whatever hole or cut it had in it in the first place would have been so small it probably wouldn't have been a lot of chance of finding it, because of course hydrogen likes to escape.
Oh yeah.
So it wouldn't have taken much. We did talk about it, but that didn't happen. And we were just glad to get the thing back down again and safe, because it became a real concern that it was going to be a traffic issue. And then once we got that down, so we got MAGE on the floor, we got the balloon down there and burst. We got the second tracker, the one that was in the cheese-shaped wedge that had been dangling below MAGE, was still tangled up amongst a wire. So getting that down was more involved because it's twisted and that. We managed to get it untwisted, and but it wouldn't pull over, and we had to use a knife on the end of that extending pole, basically to cut it. So we got all that kit back. It's just a shame that we lost that camera. And in fact, I noticed tonight, if you look at the clip of film just after we drive up to it, when I'm looking at the balloon, then MAGE, then the cheese wedge, looking at MAGE, you can see the cable hanging out the front of MAGE, which would have been from the additional battery pack to the camera. So it had already gone, because we did search the other side of the road just in case the camera had come out right at that last minute, but I suspect it had come out across that field. Q's toying with the idea of going back to look, because now we got the footage, at least we got an idea of where in the field it landed. But that's a 30-mile trip each way just to get to the field. So whether he'll go ahead and do that or not, I don't know, because of course now he's got a nice new camera.
Yeah, and maybe the farmer has already been over the field with his tractor. So,
well, it was stubble; it had already been harvested, and I don't suppose, bearing in mind how wet it was, I don't suppose it's likely. I think that now we got a good idea of where it landed, the direction it took. I think that there is actually a good chance of finding it, but after a week in the weather, I suspect the camera is toast. But the SD card would be okay. But we've already seen what we see. I suppose it would be interesting to see. And if Q does do it and does get that card, hey, I'll probably stick up a video just showing that footage, just so we can see the other view. And of course, when the probe is higher and turning in that, that's where you're going to start seeing. And in fact, even on the height we did with a wide-angle lens, there were points where it was putting a curve on the image. So it'd be interesting to see it through the non-distorting lens, but I don't think it would have proved much at all, really.
Did you think to put a phone number or something on all of the various parts and pieces?
As in the bits like the camera, no.
Yeah.
I mean the standard thing, because you don't really expect the payload to get smashed up and things to drop off it, because it's all quite secure. It must have, well, it had a really good bashing because it broke the wood. So normally you would label up the outside of the payload with contact details if someone finds it. And I took a bottle of champagne ready to give to whoever found it. If it landed in someone's garden or whatever. It's quite. I don't know how it is in other parts, but certainly in this country, when people go, in hot air balloons or whatever, they have champagne. So if they land in a farmer's field or whatever, it's a sorry, here's a bottle of champagne by way of thanks and apology or whatever. So I did take one, but of course, since we didn't meet anyone, the champagne came home, and then Mrs. Sensible has drunk it. So that's the end of that. so I've got to get another bottle for next time.
I think that's pretty standard procedure all over the world.
Yeah, probably. Is
There's
that right with you, Pip?
Always a few bottles.
Oh, you mean about giving a bottle? Yeah. It's just a nice way of acknowledging it, isn't it? No harm's done. It's landed in a field, but hey, for your inconvenience and, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
you need to say something. I mean, other than Sorry, my experiment got wrapped around your cow.
Yes, that's true.
Well, especially with a hot air balloon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because that can really cows are scared pretty easily. So I do understand that farmers don't really like hot air balloons.
No. Actually, I sent Mrs. S up in a hot air balloon years ago, thinking she'd find it quite scary, but she enjoyed that. I also have sent her up in a glider. She didn't know she was going in a glider. I said, let's go out for a drive. And as we driving past this little, well, it had been a military airbase many, many years ago. Now it's just a small airport that's just really not used for much more than gliders. And we just swung in there. And so with no warning, she was told, you're going up in one of those. And she was cool about it. But then when they put a parachute on her back, she wasn't quite so sure, but she did it. And then she used to work in a school. And when she quit the job, because she's a carer for my mother now, when she quit the job, all the parents chipped in and bought her a parachute flight. And she went up and took a parachute jump. The thing is, when the guy was talking to her, he said, look, you're bound to be scared. She said, no, that's fine. And of course, they shuffle forward, sit on the edge and jump and whatever. And when he got down, he said, so you didn't seem to be scared. What did you think about it? When we were sat right on the edge, ready to go, you must have been scared then. She said, no. And he said, you're a bloody idiot. Your body should be telling you, don't do it. Don't do it. It's dangerous. But she wasn't. She's not got the slightest fear of heights.
I would love to take a parachute jump, but I don't think I could not do it by myself. It had to be a double jump because I could not step over that.
Well, I think if you're not experienced, that they wouldn't let you do a single jump anyway.
But it's But I would love to do a hot air balloon sometime.
Well, I'm afraid I don't do heights. Not at all. Not at all. And I see that Pling2 is asking where the gliding site was. Sorry, Pling. I won't say that because it will dox me, at least to a certain extent. I thought the glider was a beautiful thing. And it was one of those, it wasn't towed up behind a plane. Yeah. It was using one of those catapult launchers, which is quite an incredible thing. I think we discussed this on a stream once before. Yeah, so she went up. So 3 times she's been sent up, and each time she comes back again. Never mind. MAGE 4, Mrs. Sensible. Yes! Send her up to 39 kilometres and see what happens. So maybe she'll, in the low pressure, maybe she'll expand and burst. We'll see.
You're pushing it.
Sorry?
I said you're pushing it now.
Hey, it's Mrs. S. It's got to be done. It's got to be done. Oh, she's a good sport, she is. And tomorrow is our 28th wedding anniversary.
My goodness, congratulations.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
Well, I say thank you very much. It's been a long 28 years. So,
yeah, you don't get that much for murder, do you?
No. In fact, 14 years would be quite typical, so I could have murdered her twice. And maybe I will. Thank you, Chris. Yes, thank you, Andres. Wow, indeed. Yeah, 28 years. Yes.
I was married in 1991, so that's 29 years ago.
Yep, the year before us.
Yeah. Crikey.
Yes.
I'm doing it now, but yeah, 20
I didn't make it until 2 to 11 years. Just 10 years was enough.
10 years.
No, she's still alive.
Well, Thea Fungi said, "Congrats, stroke. I'm sorry." That's about it. And Jessica says, I was asking, how long do you think it would take to reset for MAGE 2? Jessica, not sure. Sort of thinking 4 to 6 weeks, something of that order. Yes. Thank you, Arno. And Snook says, my condolences. Thank you, Snook. I appreciate that. So anyway, where are we? We're now at 11:45. I think it's been a great night. Really, really enjoyed it. It's been a hell of a busy day because I was still working on that video today. I think I finished about 3:30 this afternoon, something like that. So it's been a busy time. So I think, guys, I'm going to wrap it up now. And thank you all so much for coming. So I don't know if you've got any last words to say before I disable your sound.
Well, all that it was very interesting, and you made it very exciting also with like not immediately releasing everything, but just saying it has flown, and you've got to wait a week.
Yes. Oh, that was a long week for me as well. Brainless, I tell you. I've been biting my nails, looking forward to it. And I'll just say, Jessica Mills says, I've been married to my high school sweetheart for 15 years. Well, congratulations, Jessica.
Congratulations, yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, guys.
Well,
yeah, go on.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me on.
Blue,
I really appreciate it.
Blue Pal, you don't need an invite. You're welcome anytime, okay?
Oh, thank you so much. Keep up the great work, and I'm really looking forward to MAGE too.
So am I. Thank you, Blue. Thank you.
Best accent on the internet.
Isn't it great?
Yes.
I said that to Blue as well. I mean, I could just imagine you sort of riding off into the sunset now.
Do you know what, Blue? I don't know if you ever listened to Pie Parrot's little stories that she does, Pipinori.
Yeah.
But
yes.
you have. I tell you what, if you could read some of those things, that would be.
Oh yes, please.
Wouldn't
yes,
it?
Please.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes, please.
That would be wonderful.
Well,
it would.
I think quite a few people would like to see me ride off into the sun.
I've been talking away and I've been muted, for goodness sake. Gary Blue was in one of my stories.
Yeah, you made a lot more.
Sunday.
You made a lot more sense, Pip. You made a lot more sense.
I probably did.
Well, there you go. Blue Marble reading one of your Pipinoris.
Yes.
How about that?
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. Blue's already been in one of them.
Ah, excellent.
Yep. Blue had a starring role in one of them.
Yeah.
I
That
think it
would
was
be
like
so
700, 700 sub special, I think it was, something like that.
Oh, nice one. And what are you on now, Pip?
1,974.
I thought you're getting close now to your next milestone, aren't you?
Getting close, yeah.
I'm still on 99. I have 99 subscribers.
Oh, come on. There's got to be someone out there who can go to Gary's channel and take him to the ton.
Yay, get in.
Definitely.
I think I already am subscribed to you, so.
To be perfectly honest, my channel's not much. It's just like photography and cooking and shooting and music, and it's not really much. But
Shooting?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I'm thinking of my anniversary tomorrow. Perhaps we need to talk.
Well, I only use an air rifle, but I'm pretty good with it. I can put 2 pellets through the same hole.
Excellent.
At 40 yards. So, yeah, it's all good fun. But, I mean, I'm not in it for subscribers. I just made the channel so that I could join in with the chats and stuff like that.
Excellent.
So,
excellent. Well, hopefully we'll get you over 100 anyway, Gary. You can't leave them on 99 subscribers.
And I might even do 100 subscriber special. How about
Yay!
that?
Yay! Gary, what's your channel?
Yes! You're at 100.
Oh!
Oh, wow. It's just Gary space IOW.
Gary space IOW. So that'll be youtube.com/Gary space IOW. Brilliant.
Mr. Sensible, I'm dropping him in the side chat.
Okay, thank you. We'll wait for that link to go in.
Ooh, I'm at 1976 now. Thank you, guys.
Woo, Pip.
So
Thank you.
There we
Famous.
go. Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Cool. All right, guys. I shall call it a wrap. Thank you ever so much. And I see we've still got 106 watching, which it's been a phenomenal stream, and it was a phenomenal premiere. Really good stuff. Guys who've joined me tonight, thank you. I appreciate it. You take care, all right?
Thank you very much.
And what I'll do,
Good night.
good night. I'll shove you all back into the live waiting room, and I'll join you in a few minutes, okay? So, good night.
Okay.
Excellent. Yeah, good one,
Good
Mr.
night.
Sensible. Very good.
Cheers, Gary. Bye, bye, bye. There's quite a few of you. It takes a minute. And you're there last, Pip. Good night, love.
Bye, usual. Bye.
Bye, bye. So, thank you, everybody. It's been astonishing. A great live premiere. Great stream. Really enjoyable. Amazing support. You saw Q was in there. He's keen. We're going to do MAGE 2. So, keep your eyes peeled. Hopefully, it won't be too long. As I said, I can't give you an exact date. As soon as we have a new launch window, I will let you know. Take care. Until next time, stay sensible.